Hello, welcome to JIBRIN Angle on Oweleke TV. My name is JIBRIN, and this is my angle. Thank you for joining me on this monologue. On this show today, we shall be actually talking about a matter arising. I think it's about, it has to do with the U.S. politics, but with regard to Nigerian-US. Nigerian U.S. citizens. So I watched a video. I bumped into a video because I'm not a subscriber of the producer. I think her name is Adeola Fayehun or some. I'm sorry if I mispronounce her name. I can't remember her last name again. So she was with Sahara Reporters, and she's now on her own. On her show, she featured Nigerians, actually a debate between the Nigerians who are supportive of Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. And it was an overwhelming stuff that we have very few people. I think I didn't watch. I got so frustrated that I didn't watch further because I forwarded, and eventually, because I was trying to actually find out if there is someone actually that is on the side of Trump, who will actually make sense. And eventually, I got someone who was putting out a Trump hat, a Make America Great Again hat. And I listened to that gentleman. Anyway, I'll come to that. But I will play this video by, first of all, play this video by, what's his name? His brand name is Dr. Damages. I think his name is Rudolph Okonkwo also. All right, let me just less than 1 minute. I decided to just crop one part of that. It's actually a lengthy stuff. He made some statements and whatever. But that particular, just less than 1 minute is what I will play for you. Then I'll come back and actually give you my opinion about the entire video and all the Nigerians, or the ones that I watched that spoke on that platform. So let's go.
The only way for America to remain the same is for America to reject Donald J. Trump by a landslide. It's not, if it's a close election, then they have not done a good job. It has to be by a landslide. They have to say that given these two options, we Americans, we think that this person represents where we want to go. And this person represents where we want to forget the past.
All right. I suppose you had Rudolph Okonkwo. Yes. Honestly, I think his brand name is Dr. Damages. He actually answers to his name, his actions, his thinking faculty, his senses actually personifies his name, actually projects that brand name, Dr. Damages, because that's exactly what liberals do. They damage the society. Everything about liberals is just damage the society, damage the norm, damage sensibilities, human sensibilities. They damage what we call rationality. They damage anything and everything that makes sense. That is what they do. And that's exactly what Dr. Damages, Rudolph Okonkwo, just did here. Not just him, but a whole lot of conglomerate of Nigerian liberals. We are all in the US, and we all know what is happening here. It is obvious that some of these people either, I've said it, I've had monologue on this before, it's either they have been indoctrinated or brainwashed by watching CNN, NBC, MSNBC, ABC, reading AP, reading New York Times, New York Post. these are liberal, the mainstream liberal media are overwhelmingly liberal. So it's either they've been brainwashed by this set of people, or they are only being mischievous. They know the truth, they know the reality, but because of for one benefit or the other, or for one sentimental reason or the other. Because one thing I've realized about Nigerians and even some Americans, real core Americans, yeah, is they hold on. Some of them hold on to one thing against someone. One thing, the moment they see something, one weakness or whatever, that one weakness beclouds their entire sense of reasoning and sense of rationale. So that is just the reality. That's what is happening here. So many Nigerians have come to hate Trump sentimentally by just one policy, this issue of immigration, and even though they got it all wrong. Now, let me start with the young man that brilliantly, he made his case, and he made his case rightly. However, there are so many things, so many reasons why Donald Trump outstands every politician in the US, every politician, because he has done so much. Like I have rated Donald Trump as the best US president ever, and I gave my reasons. I don't know where Rudolph got his own reasons, where he found, because I listened. I tried to really get the reality, the objective reason why he feels that Kamala Harris will be a better president than Donald Trump. I just I couldn't get anything tangible from Rudolph other than some sentimental stuff. I followed him for over some time. Initially, I was subscribed to him, but I had to unsubscribe because I realized some years back through his shows how he makes, of course, most of his comedians, they are comic. Sometimes, most times, they use their comic shows to actually either spar with someone, or kind of spite someone, or express their disdain for that person. And that's exactly what he did. He's been doing on his show. And when I realized that he was making mockery of Trump, and when Trump was president or whatever, I just noticed this guy is anti-Trump. So I stopped following him, and that was just it. And now, when I came across this video, I wanted to hear. I watched or whatever. Even the Adeola who started, initially she pretended to be unbiased, balanced, or whatever, until it was obvious. It was obvious, even though she didn't say it. It was now obvious to me, to even the public, where she stands. She is also an anti-Trump, sort of. So the reality is, honestly, all these liberals, both the Nigerian liberals or the US liberals, they don't know. The reality is that they don't have good arguments, honestly. They just labeled, like Rudolph, what he labeled Trump was just something sentimental. What he called the Africans, or what the names, the bad names he called Africans. He talked about Congo or whatever, how Congo, they are sending their prisoners, criminals to the US, or blah, 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 blah. All those things. And what he talked about, how Trump actually instilled fear to the public, or in the public, and that is how we talked about how he's been in he's lived in New York all his entire life, and probably I'm trying to just kind of be humorous now, and how he was Donald Trump's neighbor. Therefore, he has always known Donald Trump. I'm just trying to be humorous. Dr. Damages, you are indeed the owner of that name, Damages. You really damaged rationality. You damaged it. You damaged common sense. That is just it. I always say common sense. People say they always refer to common sense. I say common sense, honestly, is not, especially these days, it's been a very, very scarce commodity. And the scarce commodity is overwhelmingly prevalent in the heads of liberals who are not only killing the US, but killing the entire globe by trying to force their ideas, their ideology on the populace, on the global populace. I don't know where they were 4 years of Trump when Trump was breaking and creating records in 4 years. And there's someone who claimed to be an economist. I don't know where he got his economic whatever, that he came to say that during Trump did everything nonsense during COVID, and that was what made as a result of that we incurred debt, and as a result of that injected $6 trillion, incurred $6 trillion, and $8 trillion, all nonsense. A sort of. So the reality is, prior to COVID, everybody knows that the US economy was at its best, the lowest. Remember, the economy, Donald Trump handed the economy to the economic growth to Joe Biden at, I think, about 1.8 or 1.9. And now, today, that is the inflation rate. Today, what do we have under Joe Biden? 9 point something. That is what we have under Joe Biden. And someone is talking about nonsense about economy. And besides, during Donald Trump, there was peace all over the world. It was an organic. Donald Trump negotiated peace at all levels: the Middle East, Asia, in Europe, everywhere. Donald Trump, there was peace. Not relative peace. There was calm everywhere. And that is it. And besides that, under Donald Trump, Obama did not do 1/4. What is 1/4? An inch close. What am I talking about? An iota of what Donald Trump did for the black population. Under Donald Trump, black population home ownership soared, was the best in 50 years, highest in 50 years. Under Donald Trump, the black unemployment rate was the lowest in 50 years. Sorry, not even in 50 years. Since the data, since the beginning of statistics, of such public statistics. Under Donald Trump, women unemployment rate was the lowest, I think, in 50 or 60 years. Under Donald Trump, Latinos unemployment was the lowest. Under Donald Trump, the United States became the largest oil producing nation in the world. Under Donald Trump, he was the one who did that. Under Donald Trump, NATO paid an unprecedented, they paid their due. Majority of them, not all, but eventually everybody paid something. Eventually, there was billions running in into NATO's treasury, because Donald Trump coerced them by threatening to pull out from their security, from US protecting them, So they were forced to pay that. Under Donald Trump, the US moved its embassy to Jerusalem. This is the promise that so many presidents campaigned on, both Democrat presidents and Republican presidents. They campaigned on it. None of them fulfilled it because they were all weaklings. They chickened out on pressure. And that is exactly the same pressure. Even during Donald Trump, the pressure on him was 10 times the pressure, pressure on previous presidents. Yet, that is where you know who is strong, who is a strong leader. A strong leader is the one who, under pressure, still go ahead to take a very difficult decision. That is just it. He still went ahead to fulfill that promise because he is the only politician that I have seen, heard of in my entire lifetime, not just in the US, globally, that actually campaigned on promises, made campaign promises, and won election and fulfilled the entire, not only fulfilled the entire promises, but also implemented even much more than he did not, including the ones he didn't promise. He didn't campaign on. For God's sake, what the hell is going on with liberals? I don't understand why a right-thinking person, a God-fearing person will ever support Democrat Party. The platform, everybody knows, go to their platform, they will tell you what they stand for. And that is exactly, majority of what they stand for. Kamala Harris stands for even worse than that. I don't know if you have been following Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, first and foremost, she's dumb. Anytime she opens her mouth, she does not make sense. She is the dumbest politician I have ever seen or heard about. Yet how could you, for God's sake, compare Kamala Harris to Trump? It is incomparable. You can't compare a lion with a cat. A cat and a lion, they are no match, not even close. For God's sake, what is your problem with Donald Trump? Most of Nigerians, especially the Nigerian-Americans that are here, they just hate Donald Trump for immigration reasons. For God's sake, why will you hate someone because he chooses to be a nationalist, chooses to be a law-abiding American? What is wrong in doing that? He chooses to protect his own. What do you see? Why will you pick hole in a father who is trying to protect his children, his family? For God's sake, Donald Trump is not stopping anyone from coming to this country. What he says is, if you want to do things legally. Go through the normal process and procedure. That is what he says. And besides, you people always, these liberals, they always use this phrase, America is a country of immigrants. And America was built by immigrants. For God's sake, I don't even know why people use, and the worst part is that they use it and they abuse it. They use it as a slogan, as a cliche, to actually to deceive people. Let me even ask you all, which country is not a country of immigrants? What is immigration, for God's sake? Immigration is just relocating, moving from leaving your current place to actually take shelter in a different location. This is what has always, this has been the prevalent factor since the creation of the world, since the Tower of Babel, since God actually pulled down the Tower of Babel. And it was a decree by God. It was a commandment by God. God made it that people should spread. Just move around, share yourself, keep moving migrate from one point to the other. So immigration, the US is a country of immigrants. It is rubbish because you are abusing that statement. You are abusing that comment. You are abusing that word. For God's sake, because all countries are, the entire world is a world of immigrants. We all migrated from one point to the other. And you will say, okay, US, their own is from, it was actually people from different countries. But tell me, which country do not have foreigners as immigrants there? Yes, you may have an overwhelming number of people as immigrants in the US, but again, that does not make them an exclusive country with built by immigrants. Even the Israel you see today, where they are today, they migrated from somewhere to Canaan land. When God pulled them, God asked them, that is immigration. God actually commanded them to leave where they were, the original land, and gave them somewhere else they should move to that place, which is today's Israel, Canaan land. So everyone on this earth, every human being is an immigrant. Even my state, my locality, my village where I came from, we have history. Our history is from, I think we're supposed to be from Imo State or thereabout. I think Imo or thereabout. I can't remember because my late father actually gave me the history of my town. So originally we were supposed to be from Imo State. What happened? They said people from Imo, I think they were traveling, they were on transit, traveling from one point to the other, but somewhere along the road, some of them decided to settle somewhere and say, well, I think we'll settle in this place, and that is it. We're not moving. We'll start building our lives there, whatever. I'm trying to just cut the long story short. It's a long story though, but that is just it, and that is how we came. We are actually descendants of Imo or whatever, of a locality in Imo State. And so that is just it. Everyone is an immigrant. People stop this nonsense. So, and even if America was built by immigrants, does that mean that they should not adhere to the laws, the rules? Is that the reason why you want to pull down the country by immigration? For God's sake, if we don't have border with everybody to come in from the US into the US, you think you will live a happy life? You'll be able to live a comfortable and happy life? Everything will go on well? Hell no. If there were no decorum, no laws were not followed from the beginning, you wouldn't. This US today, that is what it is today, couldn't have been. And besides, instead of I don't know why people get angry, get mad at anybody who rejects immigration. We have them in the West. Italy have started doing the same thing. And where again, even Germany, they are now beginning to regret the immigration stuff. They open their doors. And what is happening there? Insecurity, crime rates. And even in the US, for God's sake, we have record high crime rates in the US. Under Donald Trump, the crime rate was much lower. The drug importation, illicit drugs, heroin, fentanyl, all those illicit drugs, the smuggling into the US was far lower than what we have today. These are drugs that are killing US citizens, about 100,000 every year. What the hell are you people talking about? I don't know what the problem you have with Donald Trump is the best president. Now, I am not being sentimental, I'm being objective because, again, I go by his records. His record speaks for him. Forget his personality. Even the personality, I'll be making a different monologue on his personality. Even his personality, people have been brainwashed, people have been lied to about his personality. Donald Trump is far better, much better than what they say he is. Even personality. I love his personality. People hate him. Some people hate him for his personality, and they hate him wrongly because of what they had from CNN, MSNBC, NBC, ABC, AP, all this crazy liberal media. That is just the reality. So, I don't know. Honestly, I'm sorry to say, I'm not trying to insult you, but you must be very, 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 with all due respect, Rudolph Okonkwo, must be very, very dumb to actually think or say that Kamala Harris will be a better president. I don't know if you've been watching Kamala Harris since she contested. She tried during the primaries, Democrat primaries. She contested for the presidency. I don't know if you've been watching her. You've been watching her through these 3.5 years. I don't know if you've been watching and listening to what she says and how she does it. If you have yet still said what you said, then I don't know what to really what to categorize you on. Honestly, that is just the reality. And besides, I don't even know. You are talking about Kamala Harris winning and winning by landslide. Honestly, you are supposed to be a journalist. You're supposed to be following the trend. And do you see Kamala Harris as someone that will actually win this election? Talk less of landslide. Someone that is already losing. Even me, myself, even the polls, all of them, I do not believe in all those polls, including the ones that are pulling in favor of Donald Trump. I don't believe them. Because I am 100% sure that the polls are not even close as they project it to be. Donald Trump is far, 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 far ahead of, and we will see it during this election. I'm being objective now, because they have stark differences. It is this election is between the white and black, not complexion. That is color. It's not human being. That is between black, good and evil, and that is just the reality. Did you hear Kamala Harris? I think 2 days ago, that when someone told her, when they were talking about abortion, and someone just shouted from the crowd, "Jesus loves you," and she made mockery of that person and told the person that this is the wrong place. You've come to a wrong rally. And eventually she went ahead to make mockery of that lady who's actually told her that Jesus loves her. And this is the person any sensible Christian, right-thinking Christian will vote for. Kamala Harris have not hidden it, how much she hates Christians or Christianity. She made mockery of Eucharist, Catholic Eucharist. She invited, I was told that the Catholic show of the last week they held, she's the first candidate, U.S. Presidential candidate that have missed in how many years? 50 years or thereabout. That missed attending that show because it's a Catholic show, it's a Christian show. Everything about Kamala Harris, she's her own policy is to kill babies, even up to the 9th month. Killing babies. That is it. Everything about Kamala Harris is just subverting biology, subverting science, calling men. They believe that men actually menstruate, men get pregnant, they have womb. Are you out of your mind, Rudolph? For God's sake, I don't get it. Everything about Kamala Harris. I don't know if, Rudolph, you have kids. Kamala Harris, do you know that Kamala Harris is an aggressive projector of children transiting from one sex to the other? Children, kids. I don't know where you people are getting your, like I said, it's either you are brainwashed, and if you are brainwashed at your level, because I've seen professors and professionals who are I don't know how they manage to go pass through school, yet easy to be brainwashed, because I don't understand. Sometimes I don't imagine myself, why will I be brainwashed? Because I do not believe in everything or anything absolutely. I do my research, I listen to both sides before I conclude. So you don't just listen and get brainwashed, and you get brainwashed because you have your brain, you have conditioned your mind to believe that thing. That's how brainwash come to play. And that is just it. Because if you want to be objective, you tell the truth about Donald Trump. His record as a president for 4 good years. And God bless that guy that put out that with Make America Great and heart. I don't know if we had other guys that actually supported Trump, but that was where I watched it, and I decided to just go off because it was obvious everybody there was just not making sense. Because you ask liberals, what is the problem with Donald Trump? None of them, they have never, it's either they tell lies on something that didn't happen, he didn't do, or they just give you one sentimental reason. Oh, he did this. He calls people names. He threatens this. He says this. He says that. He's going to be a dictator. Rudolph, you are talking about, is this the America you want? America that is no longer a country of the rule of law, where the president actually go after his political opponents? You haven't been going through the court cases, that all the indictments against Trump. Are you being sincere? If you are really sincere to yourself, you understand that all those charges are phantom charges. They are cooked up charges, and some of them are misdemeanors. They are not supposed to be felonies, and that is why all the charges are falling off in all the respective courts. I don't know. Honestly, like I said, you are truly your name, Dr. Damages. You are really damaging. You are damaging the truth. You are damaging facts. You are damaging rationality. Honestly, someone should actually commend Trump. Honestly, you should understand that when the establishment is against someone, it means that that person is on the right side. You know what it means to actually go after? It's been about 9 years that they've been chasing Trump. They have tried everything. Do you know what? I consider Trump as the cleanest politician I've ever heard of. Okay, in the US. In Nigeria, I have one that it's for another day, but in the US, the cleanest. Because what do you expect? Trump is the most investigated human being in the US. Not just president, human being. They have thrown everything at him, including the kitchen sink. Try to dig out everything about him. Try to even use people close to him, coerce them, threaten them to turn against it. And some of them turned against Trump. Even at that, they just can't find anything incriminating against him. Nothing tangible other than probably misdemeanors or personal stuff he did with women. That alone, if I started supporting Trump from when he actually stepped down from the escalator. When people discountenance him, they just shrugged him aside. This guy is going nowhere. I've done this before. And I told someone, I was in a gathering there, I said, after listening to him, I say, I love this guy. And honestly, I see this guy winning the election. And the people just laughed at me and made jest of me or whatever. And everybody saw what happened. So I foresaw something like this. In his speech, I saw that sincerity, that genuinity. There is no man who is pretentious, who is a hypocrite, yet withstood 2 assassination attempts. In the midst of assassination attempt, he keeps going. Like Elon Musk would say, the best time to know who the true color of someone is when the person is under pressure, facing challenges. You know what it means for somebody to be under bullet, under the attack of bullet, yet he still stood up, forced himself up, and raised his feet into the air. Fight. He is a strong man, a courageous man. What has he got to lose if he chose not to contest for this election? Nothing. He's got everything to gain. He's got peace to gain. He's got freedom to gain. He's got everything, his wealth to gain. Trump lost. He's the only president. He was the only president that lost money after being the president of the US. Every other president became richer after being president. Only Trump lost serious money. His wealth really, really crumbled. And remember, he earned salaries, but he didn't receive all those salaries. Those salaries from the beginning, for the entire 4 years, the salaries were distributed to various charity organizations. Tell me, what has this guy benefited? Why will he actually be faced with a whole lot of barrage of fire at him when he can just let go? He's a billionaire, can go live his peaceful life. He's doing this for patriotism. He's doing this for us all. And people don't appreciate him because they just use one weakness against him. They hold one weakness against him. Which of you do not have a weakness? I have my own weakness. Each and individual of you have your own weaknesses. We all have. So stop casting the first stone when you know that you have your own sin. Do not cast that stone. Take that stone back. So, unfortunately, so many Nigerians are listening to people like Rudolph, who have been probably indoctrinated, or he knows the truth. He's not indoctrinated, he knows the truth, but he's benefiting something. Of course, he's a journalist. Who knows? He's benefiting something. I have a lot of liberal Nigerian. Majority of Nigerians in the US are liberals. I've met so many of them. They are liberals. And most of them are myopic, and some of them are just because of this immigration thing. I don't know why you hate someone because the person says immigration is becoming a problem to the country. He's accumulating more debt to the country. What is wrong? He's not stopping immigration after all. All he says is do it legally. Don't just break through the wall. If you have a house and somebody jumps the fence jumps the fence, how will you feel? You have a house, a fenced with a wall, building. What do you? And someone does. The gate is locked, and everywhere you just shut, and someone does jump through the fence and appears into your bedroom. So where the hell did you come from? Say, I passed through the fence. Please, can you accommodate me in your house? How will you feel? Will you accommodate the person? Are you going to accommodate? No, answer me. Just be sincere to yourself. That's exactly what Trump is talking about. Don't come through the fence. Come through the gate. Come through the right process. Let us process you. Follow the due process. Honestly, again, this issue of different strokes for different folk, I understand that, but honestly, there are some cases that I don't expect to have issue of different strokes for different folks, or one man's meets that I expect, because there are some situations that are just white and black, that you don't need it. There's no ambiguity there. There's no coloration there. It's just a direct thing. You see that you are on the white side or you are on the black side. Just like you said, Rudolph, the choice is between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. And I hope and I pray the people who are rational would make the right choice. And everybody knows the right choice. The right choice that will better the US. The right choice that will make America great again. Because America is on the precipice at this time. 3.5 years, over 3.5 years of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris has actually diminished the integrity, the pride of the US. Look at war all over the world. The Middle East is burning. It's in flames. China is bracing up to attack Taiwan. Russia and Ukraine, they are at war. Europe too are bracing up. Everywhere is in flames under Joe Biden. Nobody respects the US anymore. Nobody respects Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Yet, someone is telling me that Kamala Harris should win and will win even with landslide or on landslide. I pity for Onasha. Honestly, I pity for her. It's unfortunate. For those of you who are doing it out of sincerity, I pray God give you understanding and open your eyes of understanding to understand the times and season. For those of you who are doing it deliberately, you know that what you are doing is the wrong thing. You know that you are on the wrong side, but for one reason or one flimsy reason or the other, either personal or whatever reason or sentimental reason, if you are doing it for such purpose, remember God's judgment. Remember God's judgment. It is very, very important. Democrat Party, if you're a Christian, I do not expect you go to Democrat platform. Everything about their platform is antichrist. And when I say antichrist, anti-Christian. They hate Christianity. Go to their platform. Their platform will define where they stand. So I do not expect any Christian actually in the real sense. I don't expect any Christian to vote for Kamala, to vote for Democrat Party as a whole, because their platform speaks for them. And this is my angle.